Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be doing some love notes from your person. This is going to be a message cards only reading, and there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Aventurine Star. Group 2 is the Sodalite Star. And group 3 is the Red Jasper Star. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to, I'll give you a minute to make your selection, and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. It shows the Aventurine Star. So let's see, what does your person want you to know from their higher self? And we have, you are hard to forget. So if you're in a no contact situation with this person, they are really nostalgic about you, looking at old photos, old texts or emails, thinking back on the times that you shared with one another and wishing that they had bridged the gap between the two of you in terms of silence sooner. So they may be considering reaching out, reconciling, a sense of wishing they had treated you better or appreciated you more when they had open access to you, a sense of blaming themselves at this particular point in time for what has fallen apart, or being at a point in their lives where they're able to take responsibility for their role in the circumstance falling apart between the two of you, which is something that may be an accomplishment for them. They may have been going through a lot of denial, kind of feeling that it was easier to point the finger of blame in your direction or to just try and stuff and avoid their feelings altogether. But it feels like something has given way, a breakthrough, or maybe even a breakdown in their life that has caused them to see things between you and maybe many different things in their life from a different perspective. And with that comes a desire to change the fate of this situation. Not so much focused on wishing they could turn back the hands of time, but more on building towards a positive future between the two of you. And we also have no one else matters now. So it feels like if third parties had been a situation in this connection in the past, they've cut those people off. This is somebody who is very focused on the idea of trying to create some sort of strategy to earn your trust back, win a place in your heart or in your life. Somebody who wants to demonstrate to you consistency where there may have been a hot and cold energy before. If they had treated you like an option or just weren't interested in committing to you in the past because they wanted to keep their options open, there's a sense that that strategy just yielded a lot of loneliness for them. And so there's a desire to make more of a substantial commitment to you, or at least make their intentions known in a more precise way so that you can both figure out kind of an appropriate timeline of progression forward in the event that they do follow through on this desire to reach out and kind of mend the bridge that has been burned between the two of you, so that you're not just kind of operating in this liminal space of not really being sure what they're capable of, what they want in the situation, what their intentions are as far as moving quickly or, kind of going at more of a measured pace. And so it feels like somebody who is determined to be more open and honest from a logical and kind of tactical standpoint as far as what they are able and willing to give into the situation, what they are requiring from you in exchange, and where they see more of the long-term future between the two of you. If you are willing to sort of give them another opportunity or hear them out if they resurface. I also say, I don't want to let you down. So this feels like somebody who understands that they need to bring forth consistency and action to accompany any kind of words of apology or promises that they may make. This may be somebody that in the past came on really hot and heavy. They could have been very passionate. Things could have moved very quickly between the two of you, or feelings came on very suddenly for you within this person, and it could have really startled them. It could have brought up a lot of fears of abandonment, and so it was maybe just easier for them to walk away rather than risk you getting tired of them, you leaving them kind of when they needed you the most. And so there's a sense here that they've done some soul searching, some reflection within. They're starting to recognize how impulsivity may have been a culprit in this situation that has now led to this disconnect between the two of you. And so it's a sense of like, I don't want to build false hope within you by over-promising and only being capable of under-delivering. And so it feels like they're working behind the scenes, not just to provide more clarity, but to present some kind of substantial change or shift that they have made in their life that can back up the assertion of, I'm different, I want to try again, I want to do right by you, I didn't present the best part of myself to you in the past. Something that, in addition to kind of these words of honesty, it's something that they're working on that can kind of show you that they mean business. So maybe they've cut off third parties, or they've changed something about their lifestyle, their habits, their behaviors. Some people may be getting therapy or even looking into self-help. The way in which they may speak to you could reflect a great degree of self-reflection, or that they've educated themselves about their coping mechanisms, their attachment style, something that brings forth kind of the active interest in seeking to improve as a human being for themselves and for the benefit of whatever they may want to rejuvenate between the two of you, which it feels like will be a substantial step forward from what they were offering in the past. We also have, I made the wrong choice. Yeah, so if this is somebody who rejected you because they want to keep their options open, or maybe they went back to an ex, or, chose to kind of go off with a third party, for example, there's something that situation didn't work out as they had expected. If it was an ex person that they were dealing with, there may have just been a repeat of all the toxicity they were dealing with before, whatever had contributed to that circumstance falling apart the first time around. It might have been like a deja vu. It was the same situation all over again that has left this person then in the energy of loss once more. And so it feels like that may have really sparked a degree of nostalgia, sort of like, on the worst day, it was better than the best day with another person, as far as the situation between the two of you are concerned. And so this feels like something that they are very motivated to, not make you feel like an option, but to really make you understand that you were the best choice, you were the one that their heart really wanted, but pride and ego or even fear may have driven them back in the direction of something that, while it could have been toxic or just kind of destined to be broken no matter what was attempted, but it was like a comfortable chaos or something that they were familiar with. There may have been a lot of unknowns as far as the situation with you. You could have sparked feelings within this person that were deeper than anyone has ever stimulated within them. This could have been feelings that came on very quickly, and so it was overwhelming, and it felt safer to kind of move back in the direction of something that was passionate by way of a lot of fighting and making up. That could have been the situation with an ex, but that lacked true emotional depth. This could be somebody as well that has like a fear of commitment that they've come to understand within themselves that caused them to want to keep their options open instead of committing to you when they had the opportunity. All of that, whatever the circumstance and details are, it feels like they've reflected and they have some level of awareness that they did not have before. They also say, I will be reaching out soon. So there's that confirmation of somebody that is intent on attempting reconciliation, trying to open those lines of communication so that you can hear their side of the story, preparing themselves to hold space for you actually and emotionally so that you are able to have your catharsis. You're able to emote. You're able to express to them in an open and limitless way what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you've been through, any grievances that may need to be expressed. If this person just ghosted you or took off without the opportunity for the two of you to really talk about things, it feels like they are intending to move back towards you with the notion of speaking their truth, but also really inviting you to take the opportunity to give them a piece of your mind if you feel that that's what you need to do, or at least be, open and honest with them as far as what they've put you through, what it is that you require in order to give them another opportunity, if that's something that you're willing to do. It feels like somebody who's also emotionally and kind of mentally preparing themselves for the idea that you might reject them. They also say, let's get through this together. So more of that energy of wanting to work to rebuild a connection that has been torn asunder, wanting to give more to the situation than they were capable of in the past. It feels like whatever they've invested in the time since you've been apart, whether that is just player energy, a lot of kind of casual connections, or, somebody that has just even been kind of focusing on work and finance, not dating at all, and has just been very scared to open up emotionally. It feels like that has led to a lot of loneliness for this person, and they are recognizing that what they may have considered is like an either or choice. Either it's working on the abundance in finance, or it's focusing on building a connection romantically with you, that could have caused them to sort of push you away or discard you in the interest of something they needed to build for themselves, materially speaking. That could have been a choice that was reflective of like unhealed wounds, experiences with past partners, something that kind of just didn't allow them to hold space for more of a well-rounded view that you can have money and love all at the same time. There's a sense that they are wanting to kind of course correct, make you more of an inclusive part of their life if you will have them, and a sense of somebody who is really willing to do what it takes in order to earn back your trust or provide you with any kind of reassurance that you may require. They also say, I've thought about living together. So this again is somebody that doesn't just want to come back in temporarily. They're not trying to waste your time, get your hopes up only to let you down. This is somebody that it feels like if they work up that courage and they actualize their plans to attempt reconciliation with you, it feels like something that there will be discussion about long-term future. This is somebody who will be more direct than they had been in the past. Somebody that will definitely let you know that this isn't just, trying to come back in and waste anybody's time, but they are trying to build with you from this point forward with the intention of something stable, something permanent. They also say, I've been astral projecting to you. So they may have been thinking about you so much that like you're picking up on their energy. The idea of thoughts become things. They may be thinking about you so much that they're able to perceive your energy, tap into that. There may be a lot going on in the dream space, in the liminal space. They may be getting a lot of signs and synchronicities about you that are nudging them to not just sit in this kind of thought-based energy or, kind of reminiscing about the times that you shared, but to take material steps in the direction of generating a new beginning, taking material steps in the direction of conveying that apology. They may almost be kind of testing the waters out emotionally or energetically to sort of see when they're in this energy of nostalgia, as they're running the scenarios of best and worst case things that can happen, how do they feel inside about any proposed outcome? What are the things that they might anticipate as far as your possible responses or reactions? Anything, if this is somebody who, maybe is into meditation, maybe they've started a meditation practice and they're able to like feel your energy or connect with your higher self, there may be kind of a like a dress rehearsal that's taking place, or like a trial run where they are speaking that truth. They're kind of expressing those things, those that they're holding in their heart, the desire to be open and honest where they had been maybe closed off and kind of evasive before. And they could be sort of gauging the the effect that that is having energetically speaking. Does your energy seem receptive to theirs? Is it something where, you're blocking them off, or it's creating a lot of dissonance? It feels like this person is going about this from all sorts of different angles in order to determine the right method of approach and the right time to reach out. You also say, you gave me that spark. So it feels like if this is somebody who has dated other people in the time that you've been apart, they've not been able to have as deep of a connection with anybody else as they have with you, and that this has become apparently obvious to them that the circumstance between you is rare, it's precious, it's worth fighting for, it's worth doing what it takes in order to resurrect this and to do a better job this time around, if you will have them, if you will take them back, to make sure that the connection is cherished and treasured. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got Y, X, Z, A, Y, I, K, R, J, U, T, Q, G, W, E, and L. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Sodalite star. So let's see what your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay, we have my karmic story is ending. So if there was a third party involved in this situation, or maybe wounds from the past, from a past relationship that had fallen apart, that had caused this person to block off the connection with you, close off their heart emotionally. Maybe they told you they weren't ready for commitment, weren't ready for what the connection between the two of you involved, or they could have even been trying to resolve things with somebody else in their life when they met you, and could have let you know that they didn't have the time to devote to the connection, they weren't sure what they wanted, or they just needed time and space to be alone. There's a sense that all of this is reached its point of conclusion, or is reaching the point of the conclusion, and they are determined to take assertive steps towards you to create forward momentum in this situation. They've come to realize that you are very exceptional, that the experience that they have had with you in the past is unlike what they have known before of romance. You've showed them a new face of love that it feels like has introduce them to the redemptive power of connection between two people, a sense of, even if they had, kind of rejected you or let you down, the way in which you handled the situation spoke volumes about your character, which it feels like has been a poignant reminder to them about just how different you are from maybe other people that they have dealt with in the past, or someone that they were in the midst of maybe a back and forth with when you came into the picture, when you entered onto the scene. That has really highlighted for them sort of situations that are a match for kind of a wounded or lower vibrational version of themselves. That could be circumstances that they're used to versus what you had offered, which kind of compelled them to step into a higher or more self-aware or healed version of themselves, which they could have been afraid of the work necessary in order to embody that consistently in the past. But it feels like now they are ready to go the distance with that. This is somebody who's ready to put in the work to up-level their life in a profound way, and has maybe already taken steps to do that in order to facilitate something different, something more in this situation with you. We also have our eye contact is insane. So the intensity of this bond between the two of you, a very palpable chemistry, a spiritual energy. Maybe you activated a kundalini awakening within this person and it could have overwhelmed them. This could be somebody who's in the midst of a dark night of the soul right now, back to those kind of energies about like the karmic story is ending. They could be sort of seeking to vanquish the ghosts of their past in the form of relationships that they had prior to coming into contact with you that left emotional damage so significant that it caused them to not just embrace kind of the nature of what was happening, or the fact that you arrived in their life almost like a wish come true. But there's a sense of like the experiences of letdown from their previous romantic history wouldn't allow them to fully invest themselves in the prospect of like new beginnings, to thoroughly devote themselves to the energies of hope, of what could develop in a sustainable way between the two of you. So it feels like something that in the aftermath of kind of moving in the opposite direction or pushing you away or rejecting you, this person may have been plunged into that dark night of the soul. And so now they're reflecting on you as almost kind of their guiding light, their lighthouse, a beacon for them that kind of compels them forth through this process of needing to confront their own reflection, face their own shadows, close out cycles within their life that have just kept them limited as far as emotional fulfillment, spiritual wellness, and kind of overall a life that they are excited to live, which in some way people they were involved with in their past, or the way in which they were living their life in the past, didn't equate with that best version of them. You've given them that peak or that glimpse or that glimmer of something inside of them that lights up whenever they are in your presence, that they have come to understand is sort of the vibration or the frequency that they want to anchor in, or that they're required to anchor in order for all aspects of their life to really become luminous. They also say, I don't want to let you down. So again, this person may be doing a lot of soul searching, shadow work at this particular point in time, tying up loose ends, cutting off people from the past, making substantial changes within themselves to kind of live more in alignment with self-respect, not just saying I love myself, but doing things in order to speak that kind of loving affirmation out into their lived reality. So this can involve better choices as far as like the company they're keeping, friend circles, any exes that they may have like on social media. They may have disconnected from those people. Anything that's been like an open line of access between them and their past, or even kind of resentment and anger that they've been holding on to that has kind of cause them to not really trust in the power of new beginnings, or something where you were almost made to kind of walk under the shadow of someone that had maybe broken their heart, and so they weren't trusting that what you were offering was real, was pure, was true. They could have really tested this connection or made it very difficult for you to understand like their true intentions in this situation, what they were capable of giving, what they even wanted out of the circumstance. They could have gone cold, or just kind of ghosted or blocked, or been very cruel and callous with the way in which they sort of pushed you away. And so it feels like something that they've reflected upon all of that, and there's a lot of regret at how they've handled this situation up to now. So they're making a concerted effort to kind of understand their own motivations and in some way to course correct accordingly. We also have, I'm not happy in this situation right now. So if there are still third parties involved in the circumstance, it feels like it's very apparent that those situations are past their expiration date, that nothing is being served in a positive or constructive manner by continuing to participate with those people. So it feels like for a lot of individuals, they're getting ready to move on, or move out, or just kind of close off sort of the dealings with toxic people, or people that are reflective of a version of them that they have shed, that they have outgrown, that they are trying to kind of distance themselves from and move beyond. Something where if they are even just kind of single, if they're alone at this point, and sort of doing that energy or doing that work of like reflecting energetically on sort of situations from the past, or unhealed wounds, unresolved things within themselves, it feels like it's difficult work, it's unforgiving work, it's shadow work, it's dark night of the soul, it's not sunshine and rainbows, but it's something that's very necessary. Like they're seeing it as necessary, or they've come to understand that it's necessary. Things may have collapsed in their life beyond just this connection that has kind of plunged them into the sense of, if there's going to be any sort of change in my life, it begins with me. And so this feels to be something that this is someone that's very proactive and kind of thinking outside of the box to better themselves in some sort of way, in order to be able to sort of put forth not just the intention of I want change, but they're actually sort of like changing the energy that they put out, or the actions that they are taking, and kind of the vibe they're putting out into the world around them, and maybe are starting to experience that they uplift themselves and the world around them is uplifted as well. And so it feels like there's a deep motivation for them to kind of see this difficult time through to its completion for themselves, not just to emerge as like a stronger or more aligned version of who they are, but also to be able to present you with something more, like a better version of them than they were embodying previously. They also say, I'll never forget the time we spent together. So thinking back on a lot of the shared memories with you, longing for that closeness, missing the sound of your voice, the warmth of your body next to theirs, wishing it feels like as well that they could kind of get your advice or get some sort of guidance about some of the struggles that they are going through, or even just that they could have you around as like a listening ear. It feels like they are starting to understand that of all the people that they have in their life, you are one of the few, or maybe the only person that, wanted nothing out of them other than just the pleasure of their company. That you're somebody that really wanted the best for them. Maybe you set some ultimatums, or you were very honest with them about certain things they'd been in denial about or had been avoiding within themselves, and that could have caused them to sort of push you away, move back in the direction of either just nursing their own wounds, or kind of gravitating back toward another person, or the idea of a different type of romantic partner, someone that wouldn't challenge them to grow and evolve. Nevertheless, it feels like they've been compelled, maybe, through the universe, that change needs to happen within themselves at this point. So again, like dark night of the soul, spiritual awakening even, that could be very sort of tumultuous. A lot of ascension symptoms could be happening. This could be somebody that's very uncertain what's going on with them at this particular point in time. Is everything falling apart or falling together into something more, something better? And it feels like there's a yearning for you at this particular point in time to be close to you, maybe even energetically kind of snuggling up to you at this particular point, while they're trying to get their footing, they're trying to get their bearings as far as like what their next action will be. We also have, I sabotaged our connection out of insecurity. Yeah, so this connection definitely required this person to grow and evolve. Maybe overtly you had brought some things to their attention, like you need to work on these things. Otherwise, it's not going to work between the two of us. And rather than sort of agreeing to make changes, or maybe they agreed to, but they weren't consistent with that, it feels like this is somebody that chose the easier route of, denial, of numbing out some things, or just not wanting to self-reflect in any kind of a way. But it feels like nevertheless they are now in this place of, it has become very necessary for them to change their ways in some manner. It has become very apparent to them that you were not the problem, but that there's something within themselves that they need to work on. They may have taken a defeatist attitude about the connection for a while, but it feels like they've reached a place of, I have to at least try, I have to at least make the effort to change, I have to do something to try and seize the moment, seize the opportunity while it still exists, to create a reconciliation, to build towards the future with one another, because it feels like they're at a point where the idea of losing you to someone else is, it's filling them with a deep sense of fear and also sorrow. So this feels like somebody that is gearing up to maybe take a quantum leap forward in their life in order to be able to meet you at more of a positive or constructive vibration. They also say you gave me that spark. So you definitely could have activated a spiritual awakening within this person, heart chakra activation, kundalini awakening, something, about kind of the way they have felt in your presence, or even when they think about you at this particular point in time. If you're in disconnect with one another, they feel alive at the idea of you, or they came to life in your presence in a way that they don't normally or as easily do with other people. There's a sense that they could always be vulnerable or open and authentic with you. And even if it was difficult to experience or things you might have disagreed with, as far as whatever they were presenting, you were non-judgmental. You were always fair and honest with them. And it feels like this is something that they really cherish and miss at this point. They also say, give me a chance. So again, this is somebody who's working on themselves, working to disentangle themselves from unhealthy habits or other connections in their life. That could be friends, family, or, other people if they had options, or if there was a third party involved, or even just kind of the residue left behind from third parties that preceded the connection with you, or other people that they've dated since you've been apart from one another. There's a sense of almost like working through whatever it is that they have needed to kind of wrap up within their life in order to be able to generate a fresh start for themselves that involves more of the energies of acceleration, less of the repetition of outdated cycles, things that just keep them stuck and stagnant. You've opened something within this person. You've opened their perception and awareness to a different way to move through the world, or a different way to connect with another person on an interpersonal level that they've not been able to experience with anyone else or replicate anyone anywhere else. And so there's a deep desire and motivation to do whatever they can or whatever is necessary in order to sort of pull themselves up out of the trenches and emerge from this kind of dark night of the soul and present themselves to you as a transfigured being. They also say, I'm planning to surprise you. So definitely this is someone who is intent on making their way back towards you, opening up those lines of communication, providing you with some sort of evidence that they're determined to do what it takes in order to earn back your trust, or to try and work through the difficulties that have occurred between the two of you in the past, because they see your value and worth. They might not have been able to fully appreciate that in the past, but it feels like this is somebody who has already gone through some kind of a substantial evolution within themselves, where they're far more capable of giving to this connection than they were capable of in the past. They've given something to themselves by way of honesty, by way of effort, and it has yielded a positive result as far as they are feeling changed for the better, or they're working towards that tangible change for the better for themselves. And so it feels like someone who's excited to show you and demonstrate to you sort of what they've been working on behind the scenes, the person that they are working to evolve into, or who they've actually sort of turned into as a result of this dedication, this hard work, this honesty with self. They may be surprising you with kind of a very open heart-to-heart conversation, something they weren't capable of, or were sort of withholding from you in the past, that may put a lot of your fears to rest, or bring you a lot of peace of mind, give you some kind of perspective as far as realistically what you can expect in this situation moving forward, and where this person's kind of intentions and their energies of focus have been redirected towards as well. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name for you or this person, or can spell something out, so whatever resonates for you. Got O, L, H, Q, C, P, H, B, W, J, Y, V, U, G, D, A, B, and V. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you would like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the red jasper star. So let's see, what does your person want you to know right now from their higher self? We have, you give me so much to look forward to. So it feels like this person recognizes you as someone that they want to build with towards a long-term future. They may feel that they have met their match, that you're the yin to their yang or the yang to their yin, that you are the one. Somebody that may be working in secret at this particular point in time to present to you some kind of an offer, some kind of declaration of their love, something that demonstrates to you just how much you matter and mean to them. Something that involves their long-term plans with you. Something where if you were uncertain about their intentions about you and the situation, it feels like they're getting ready to display to you more romance than they have shown up to this point, a side of themselves that you have not yet been introduced to, that is hopefully going to make you feel more safe and secure within the connection, free to be yourself, comfortable at kind of the pace at which things are evolving. If this is someone that's kind of taking their time, trying to build a connection very steadily and consistently, that might have left you wondering sort of like what the timeline of future progress is, or where they would see you in the future, if this is something where they were just kind of buying time or creating kind of delays because they were uncertain. It feels like something that they're about to kind of present to you that lets you know that they're trying to sort of create a connection the right way, something that happens through consistency rather than rushing quickly through the process, almost wanting to savor each moment with you very deliberately, because they are feeling that it's inevitable that the two of you will solidify your connection into something lasting and permanent. They also say, if I had only known then what I know now. So this feels like something where they are comparing previous relationships that they have had to what the two of you share with one another, and they're starting to recognize that they almost didn't know what love really was until you came along. It feels like you're helping to heal this person's wounds of like heartbreak or rejection from the past, the more that they are consistently being received by you in a loving and open manner, or you're helping to show this person a side of themselves that they had come to sort of despise or had misunderstood, and in some way you're like holding that part of them with compassion or with love or with acceptance, and so you're bringing this person home to themselves. You're helping this person to be accepting and excited about the person that they are, not ashamed of the totality of the different facets of their nature, but something where they're actually able to hold space for more of themselves, openly and kind of in a non-judgmental way than they've been able to do previously, which it feels like has been a key sort of component in them recognizing that not only do they feel good about you, but they really feel that you are good for them. You help bring out the best in this person, or they're evolving as a person as a sheer byproduct of spending time with you, as a result of kind of partaking of your energy, the things that you talk about, that you share with them, the experiences that they have, ways in which they have expressed vulnerability, maybe even unbeknownst to you, but just little things that they've done to kind of test the situation, or to sort of experiment and say, if I'm, this level of intensity that I'm capable of, are you going to run in the opposite direction? Are you going to react? Is there going to be a backlash? And instead there's almost been where you flow very easily with that. They're feeling that you're very complementary to them. Parts of you fit so well with them. You enhance their strengths. You compensate for their deficits in a way that is making them increasingly certain that you are the person that they want to be with. And it feels like there's some regret at anyone they'd kind of given their heart to previously, because they're starting to understand that like no one was worthy of them in the way that you are worthy of what they have to offer. They also say you are the one. So there's that confirmation. This is someone that sees you as that long-term partner, the person that they want to marry, that they want to settle down with. You're the one. You're the one that they've been looking for, the one that they were hoping to find. Their perfect match. They also say, I'm scared you will reject me. So this person may be accustomed to having to sort of perform or play a role for the benefit of other people. There could be parts of their personality that had systematically been rejected, overlooked, or denied, or they've been taught or trained to do that about themselves. And so it feels like you're the first person that they can really be authentic with. You're the first person that they are able to be more of their total self with, and you're still receiving them well. You're still fitting in well. You're still holding your own and maintaining your autonomy and individuality while holding space for this person to do the same, which it feels like is drawing them towards you. It's a very magnetic experience. The safety and kind of just the relaxation and ease they feel in your presence, coupled with like a deep passion, and also the residual effect of really loving and accepting themselves more as a result of you loving and accepting so much of them that other people previously have been unwilling or unable to do. And yet there's a timidness at kind of letting you in too close. Maybe a lot of wounds that they hold within, that they're kind of ashamed that they haven't been able to like get over these things, or that certain things still bother them in terms of like experiences of things that have fallen apart in the past, that there's almost a sense of feeling that to continue to build with you or experience love and affection with you, it can help heal those wounds, but there's a part of them that almost clings to that woundedness. They built an identity around that for themselves, or they've been forced to. And so there's a sense of like, who am I if I don't have this kind of component of woundedness about me? So even maybe admitting that to you, or fearing that you in some way may feel kind of put out, that they are clinging to these wounds within them, that there's almost like they don't know who they are without that kind of heartbreak, without that jadedness, without that disappointment. There's a sense of like, would you understand that? Would you be patient with them? Would you have some kind of solution, or even just the medicine of your energy itself? Would that be enough to kind of help them to let go of certain things that may have been very difficult for them to recover from or move on from, or that they may still be very much haunted by, or have some kind of deep emotional reaction to, in terms of things that have fallen apart in their past with other people? They also say, please give me some time to heal. So it feels like every step closer you take with one another, there's not only the process of them building into something better within themselves, like their self-esteem's better, you're creating a very different association as far as the idea of love and intimacy and partnership and relationship than they have known before, like a healthier version of that. But there's also a process of needing to shed or like make room for the new experiences that you're creating with one another. So for everything that you're like building together, there's something else that this person is kind of required or compelled to let go of within themselves, which may be sort of like a tedious process to, take those next steps forward. It may seem very slow and deliberate, almost kind of building to the next level, because it's more than just opening up their heart to you. It's almost the process of like inviting you in, or receiving the love that you have to give, which helps to kind of like quench parts of themselves that had been parched, had just been barren landscapes where nothing kind of productive or beautiful was able to grow. And so there's a process of like they're feeling better within themselves, and really getting to know this different version of them for the first time, that has kind of been influenced and formulated in some way through the experience of you, of being with you, of spending time with you, of getting to know you, of kind of experiencing this love connection. They also say, I've never felt this way before. So you definitely introduce them to a different face of love. Love that is patient and kind and understanding. And moreover, that helps them to become those things for themselves, within themselves first and foremost. This feels like somebody who has been changed for the better in very profound ways as a result of you coming into their life, the time that they spend with you, even just kind of thinking about you from a distance, feeling your energy, experiences that you have with one another in the dream space or in meditation. All of this has a very healing quality for this individual, that is creating noticeable improvements in terms of their energy levels, their vitality. Other areas of their life may be very positively impacted as a result of sort of the positive influence that you have had upon them. And it feels like it's filling them with a deep sense of gratitude. It's making them very certain that they want to do what it takes in order to continue to strengthen this connection between the two of you, rather than risk it falling apart, or them being too vague, and you sort of closing off, or starting to set your sights elsewhere. They also say, I do think about the future, and when I do, I think about you in it. So again, there's more of that energy about somebody that envisions you as the long-term partner, the one they want to grow with, the one they want to build with, the one they want to marry. They also say, I'm protecting this connection. So while they're in this process of kind of shedding some things within themselves, woundedness that has no place in the type of future that they want to build with you, there may be a sense that this person shuts off emotionally, or kind of closes off energetically speaking. They may be somebody that has a hard time asking for help, or is used to kind of dealing with difficult things on their own. So it's not that they're shutting you out. It's almost that they're kind of wrestling into submission, some ambient chaos within, resistance on the part of the ego to the experience of change for the better. They've come to know sort of the comfort zone of carrying around pessimism, woundedness, a sense of almost kind of defeat, or self-defeatist kind of attitude that they understand very consciously does not serve the nature of building in a positive direction with you. And so there's a sense of understanding as well that they can't just look to you, or they don't just want to look to you as to like problem solve for them, but there's a sense of almost like they need to work through some of these things on their own. They need to kind of close out a chapter of wounds, or come to a place where they're able to sort of reconstruct their identity into somebody that isn't skeptical of love, but somebody that is very enthusiastic and hopeful, almost kind of clearing the slate within themselves in order to be able to love you fully, like it's the first time they're falling in love. They also say, this whole twin flame stuff sometimes scares me. So they may consider you their twin flame or their soulmate, something where your love, the experience of you, has changed them in a way that they could never go back to being the person that they were before encountering you. It feels like they are overall more strengthened by the experience. They are changed for the better. But as with all change, there's almost like a fear of the unknown. There's a sense of trepidation that may cause this person to, again, sort of want to shield or insulate you from any kind of uncertainty, anything that is sort of a struggle to let go of certain things, or create new kind of patterns or belief systems systems within themselves. It's almost like they don't want you too involved in kind of the messy process of reconstructing all of that. They're wanting you to just experience kind of the evolution that happens, the end result, the yield on the other side of all of this kind of behind the scenes action that's taking place internally speaking. This feels like someone who's very determined and proactive to create a very beautiful space emotionally and within their life to be able to invite you in closer. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. G, N, T, S, P, W, M, W, D, P, Y, C, H, F, J, U, N, V, L, and X. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.